This has taken me the longest, this album, to make. But I mean, there were some reasons why. There was a lot of stopping and starting. It took about maybe 18 months. It took quite a while. In the past, at the longest had been 6 months. Control took 2.5 months to do. Rhythm Nation took 3. So this is really different, but for me, for it to take this long to spew out an album, but there's good reason for it. I guess I am divulging a little bit more of myself on this album, and it's definitely much more intimate, and that's another side of myself that people have seen, but not to this level. It shows the different sides of me, the different characters that I feel that I display at different moments in my life. I've always wanted to do an album where the music is a complete departure from what people know me for, and I really didn't want anyone to know that it was me singing on the album. I was going to title it Damita Jo, which is my middle name. And when Dallas and I were sharing our middle names with one another, he had said to me, that's what you should call the album. And I thought, you know what, he's right. I shouldn't wait to do that. I should just use it now. Damita Jo is definitely who I am today, in all her schizophrenic personalities. This time around, it has been a little bit easier for me from that aspect of producing and working with so many different people. But producing is kind of like directing. And, you come up with an idea. Just because you come up with the idea doesn't mean it's going to work. And you flesh it out right there at that moment, whether it's a guitar riff and this is the idea that you have. And most of the time what you hear and they play, that's what you want. But a lot of times you're like, okay, that's not quite sounding the way I wanted it to. Let's try this. Or let's add this here, which you didn't think you would do. But for the most part, with the guys that I worked with this time, I just, I kind of put it in their hands. And then, of course, working with Jimmy and having my say-so and 2 cents added into that, and with some of the other guys that I worked with as well. But it's really been an experience that's been very enjoyable, which I didn't think it would be all the time, and it was every moment. It's my first time working with different producers, all of who I admire. I thought at times maybe I would butt heads. I never did. They were all such sweethearts. We all had such a good time in the studio, and some of them in a very, very, very short amount of time, I've made friends, good friends. And some treat me like their little sister, truly. I don't really like talking about them that much. I like for them to get out of it what they want. I know what it is for me. I think it can restrict the imagination, or the way that they see it, the way that they hear it, their definition of that song. And I think that's one of the beauties of music. Even though we all hear it, we all can hear it differently too. My confidence level, I think it's definitely, as I've gotten older, it's grown, but I still have my moments, though, where it regresses. There are days when it is that simple for me, and then there are days when you come up with a melody that you think, oh, this is going to be easy to sing. And then when you sing it out, it's like, wait, this isn't as easy to sing as I thought it would be. And I think, I need to redo this. This doesn't sound so great, or you're not doing so well today. So, I have my moments. But it's definitely easier than it was in the past. And I think that's just from exercising the chords. I don't care how many lessons you might take, vocal lessons, which that definitely does help. But when you go out in concert or on a daily basis, just around the house, singing, and to just keep exercising and keep those chords going, I think more so than anything, that's what helps. One of the songs that I did on the album is titled Thinking About My Ex, which actually someone I've been dying to work with for a really long time, which is Kenny Babyface Edmonds. I think he's an amazing talent. He actually produced it, and it was written by a woman named Freckles. I think it's just a beautiful song. I fell in love with it the minute I heard it. Loved the lyrics, but it says it's thinking about my ex, and you know, I had decided to put maybe underneath that it's not who you think it is I'm talking about. I think that's very important for people to know. It's just an absolutely beautiful song, and for a split second, the idea came up to change the lyrics, because everyone thought this is a great song, but I'm not so sure you're gonna like the lyrics. And the song is so beautifully written, I didn't want to change them. Just a little while, that's this song, I mean, I'm so happy people have been as receptive to it as they have, but man, it's given me knots in my shoulders. It got leaked, and we tried to stop it because we weren't prepared to release it. It was always supposed to be the first single, but we weren't prepared to release it. And so it's kind of like playing catch up now with it all, trying to hurry up and get the video done, because Europe got it. By the time we stopped it here, we found out Europe already had it. So we just said, okay, this thing is kind of bigger than us, so we have to kind of give into it. I wrote it with Dallas, and it's a very poppy song with a lot of guitar. It's a happy, up, fun song. I Want You is the urban single. Just a Little While is the pop single. I Want You was written by Kanye West, or it was originally brought to me by Kanye, who I think is absolutely wonderful. And it's a different kind of song for me. It's more of like a throwback, more of a like those doo-woppy, which I've never done before, which is quite exciting, and I enjoyed recording it in the studio. Sexhibition. I feel like the title says a lot. It's basically, in writing it, I wrote it with Dallas. It's an up-tempo song, and we just thought we'd have fun with words, play on words. Sexhibition, successful, sexplanation, sexplosion. So it's kind of like a play on words. I love the islands, and that's a great escapism for me when I get stressed out. I always want to be by the water, and that feeling is what I get. And I feel the song displays that feeling, at least the feeling that I get. I would say that I love them, all the songs on the album, equally. There isn't one in particular that I'm drawn to a little more than the others, because they all have a different and special meaning of their own, each and every song from myself. So I can't pinpoint one more than the other.